Alright guys, hello and welcome back to another episode of Muv Luv Photonmelodies. Last time, pretty crazy episode, you know. We were on our way to the joint live ammo training sesh, and then we had to diverge because there was an emergency rescue mission, and that was pretty cool. But I think it's over. We'll see. They did skip to the next day, but technically they were fighting in the next day. Because they went at midnight, right? So I think it's over, but we'll see. This should be good enough. Yeah, we're back. We're back at home. Okay. Everything is Gucci. Everything is Gucci. Because they probably would have showed if someone died. Right? It took me forever, but I'm finally done with my letter. Cerberus's participation in the live fire exercises was cancelled for obvious reasons, really, and the battalion returned to Dover Base Complex immediately after completing the mission. I secluded myself inside my room on the long way back, and spent all my time writing a letter. The task ended up taking me the entire day-long trip to complete, and then some. I must admit, writing in English isn't my forte. I was forced to rely on a dictionary to see the task through. But I had no other choice. English is the official international language and the only means of communication we share. Ah. It was stupid of me. It was only after I sealed the envelope that I realized I missed something obvious. I didn't write down who the letter's for. I haven't met anyone from Cerberus since yesterday's sortie. Not that their absence came as a surprise. There's the mandatory debriefing session and after-action review to attend, as well as other matters of importance that demand all their attention. They wouldn't have time for a mere cadet posing as an officer. I was informed of today's change in the schedule by the United Nations Forces attaché, who was supposed to see me off. Brower. Honestly, Brower, I thought, like, if anyone died, it might have been him, but he's alive. He's chilling. Whoops, not good. I don't know since when, but I just noticed I've been pushing the envelope to my chest. Thankfully, the letter's still in a presentable shape. I can't spot any wrinkles or tears. I won't ever forget these past days I've spent in Europe. Even though my standing was the lowest, the honor of serving alongside the noble watchdogs of hell has been the highlight of my life so far. I mean, that's a big thing to say, but he definitely has changed. Specifically because of that whole emergency situation. Because he was on the edge of disregarding the whole experience, but really turned around. It's a memory that I should treasure as long as I live, however short that time might be. My remembrance of Cerberus will forever remain vivid. Their way of life, one that I'll strive to follow from this day onward. I left the Empire a boy, now I will return a man. That's cool. One of the many things I've learned from them, but will stay with me forever, is the true value of individual freedom. Everyone here adheres to the regulations, but not blindly. Should the situation call for improvision, they will not hesitate to do so. All members readily assume both personal and group responsibilities, and the system runs like a well-oiled machine. My narrow-minded dogmatism? I thought it was I guess it's dogmatism, has been pulverized. Their values are different from those of Imperial pilots, but the results show they have every reason to be confident. That is the source of their strength. Maybe that first-hand experience was exactly what I needed. I've learned countless life lessons from Father, my brothers, and the Royal Guard. But the only thing that got through were the words, not the meaning behind them. Everything I used to believe in, the creed I used to follow, has been proven false beyond a shadow of a doubt. All I can feel now is desolation. I've been wronged all along. That's what I've come to understand from my time in Dover. I haven't gained anything, nor have I matured in any way whatsoever. I mean, I don't think that's true, but carry on. But that's fine. I will return home with a newfound sense of purpose, with the experiences I've gone through here engraved upon my heart. I'm ready to set on a new path. That is my mission, and no one will fight this battle for me. It's about time to part with this room. Farewell, my little castle. Thank you for these past 10 days. Yo, speak of the devil. It's your boy Brower. Any Brower fans? Lieutenant Brower, how long have you been there? Embarrassing. Please delete that from your memory. You could have announced yourself. No, what am I saying? You're supposed to knock before you come in. Freaky Asian custom is wild, but okay. Like I said, delete that from your memory, and that smirk tells me you're not sorry at all. You're definitely going to tell the others and make a laughingstock out of me, aren't you? This man might be a knight on the battlefield, but he's simply intolerable in person. I really have no idea what you're talking about. So again, what are you doing here? What are you talking about? That's Lieutenant Faulkner's job. She's my supervising officer. What? We got a visitor at least though. Medusa? Really? Medusa Wastronaut. What a name. Huh? I think he's memeing though. Huh? Her real name? Okay, yeah. Good one. I forgot about that. The Mystic Eyes meme. Got that Mystic Eye of petrification? So it's not her name. Classic. Brower. Ew. This guy. Her chocolate starfish is crazy. It took me a second to realize what he was saying. Let's see, I certainly remember the briefing room being this way. How regrettable. Here I was starting to see Lieutenant Faulkner in a better light, but it seems I was too hasty. She'll be the same happy-go-lucky airhead until the very end. True. But she does focus up when you need her, which is the most important thing. Thank you for all you've done for me, Lieutenant Brower, which hasn't been a lot. Honestly, it caused more trouble than what he's done for us, but that's alright. Huh? What are you talking about? That's not true. I can't say he's completely mistaken, but I do hold a small measure of gratitude towards the lieutenant as well. Not really. I'm perfectly fine with being sent off by you. Well, she's done a lot for me these past 10 days. It would be rude of me if I left without saying goodbye, so I... Okay. Well, you probably could have said it better, but true, true. Especially in these times, you could literally die any day on the battlefield. Salicious choice of words aside, the man has a good point. Yo, that's what I was saying. We hit him with the salicious. This might very well be the last time I see Lieutenant Fulner, or anyone else here for that matter. I know the chance of us meeting again is remote at best. I don't even need to remember how death was looming over me yesterday. Statistics alone are enough to drive the point home. Very few surface pilots live through the 8 minutes of death. Live in the moment, that's what Lieutenant Brower is trying to tell me. 10 days ago I would have disregarded his advice without a second thought. Now I intend to listen. You might be right, Lieutenant. In fact, you probably are. Even so, I think I'm fine just the way I am. My duty as a member of the Royal Guard and as a Makabe remains important to me. Be that as it may, I'm well aware I have yet to grow strong enough to protect what's important to me. That's one thought I haven't been able to shade since witnessing yesterday's battle. I will choose my own path, no matter where it leads. Perhaps I'll end up stumbling in the dark. In fact, that's rather likely, but I don't think I could live with myself if I didn't try. Where my experiences will take me, I have no idea. But I am not in haste. All I can do for now is to watch and learn. No amount of complaining or screaming to the winds that I'm already a full-grown man will change that. Maybe it'll all be for nothing, a waste of time. Some may say, right now though, I don't think that would bother me in the slightest. The answers I seek will come to me eventually. All I need to do in the meanwhile is to live, to experience all that life has to offer. There's a time and place for everything. You see, Lieutenant, I learned something important here, that if you simply force yourself to cram knowledge into your head, without reflecting on the real lessons even once, you'll never grasp its true meaning, try as you might. I assume it's the same with women, although I'm fairly inexperienced in that regard. You may take my words as an admission I'm still a brat, but don't worry, this brat is not going to bother you for much longer. I used to believe, barely days ago, that Lieutenant Fulner's words were too vague. Now I find they're awfully close to the way I'm thinking. Looking at things from another perspective, maybe she has been undergoing the same process all along, living and learning from her experiences all this time. How fascinating. This brief exchange with Lieutenant Brower has pushed me to impose some degree of order on my experiences from yesterday. It's a boy usually dishes out cringy lines, but then this was a pretty good conversation, not gonna lie. What? Is that because the cadet you and the others used to tease with impunity will be gone, Lieutenant? I mean, you kind of are, though. Respectfully. True. It was a bad thing, but also true. Don't flash it, dude. I gotta censor it then. Also, I know when I went back last episode to see if there's any different interactions the night before, there is also the difference that whatever girl you choose for the recreational activity will be in the front of the three. I think that's the only change to the shower scene, but I was kind of speeding through it, so I won't say I'd like to forget them anytime soon, but calling them good seems kind of inappropriate. But in hindsight, I wouldn't do anything differently. They are the memories to end all memories, his words ring true, annoyingly so. To be sure, that there's that one moment I won't be able to forget, together with that evil smirk of yours when you confessed your dirty trick. My apologies, Lieutenant, I can't be fully honest with myself yet.
ここからが重要だ。
What do you mean?
俺が日本に行った時はどうすればいいか分かってるよな。
Okay. Of course I do. I know exactly how to repay you, Lieutenant, and I swear on my life I will.
おいおい、本当に分かってんのか？お前みたいな堅物にそんなことできんのかよ。
You don't have to worry, I'll make it happen.
本当だな。
I, Makabe Sejiro, am a samurai. I'm honor-bound to remember both my promises and the kindness I have received.
よーし、よく言った。いいか？これはサムライトナイトの歴史的名約だぜ。裏切るなよ。
Yes, Lieutenant, I would never. Also, you're getting kinda close. A historical covenant between Germany and Japan, really now? Really now? No, more importantly, did he just admit I'm a samurai?
いいな。俺に恩返しするまで勝手に死ぬんじゃねえぞ。
What? Yes. Maybe the lieutenant isn't a gigantic douche, but only has trouble expressing himself? No, I mean, it's a mix. He's a decent guy, but he is kind of douchey. I think that's fine. Maybe he's been a nice guy all along. Seems I just can't stop judging a book by its cover.
おいおい、今さらビビったんじゃねえだろうな。約束はちゃんと守れよ。
I will. But the same goes for you, Lieutenant. Now, you simply can't fall in battle before you come to Japan. Failing to keep a promise shames a samurai deeply.
一発の口叩くじゃねえか。
Thank you for everything, Lieutenant Brower. May you remain in good health. Until the day we meet again, I wish you good fortune in the battles to come.
じゃあな、清十郎。
That was a good
ウルフガング・ブラウアー少尉。真壁訓練生を
way
連れてまいりま
to
した。
leave his character. Lieutenant... Oh wait, what am I reading? The Commanders.
現時刻をもって貴君の我が隊における視察研修の終了を認む。
Second year Cadet Makabe Seijiro, Imperial Royal Guard, Empire of Japan. I'm leaving my post here today.
楽にしろ、真壁候補生。ご苦労だった。我が隊での経験が貴君の帝国近衛軍における活躍の一助になれば幸いだ。
I will always be in your debt for these past few days, Major. I will continue to improve myself as a surface pilot, so that I don't soil the name of your glorious unit.
不意の実践にも臆することなく立派だった。貴君の父上や兄上たちも鼻が高いことだろう。
I'm honored. Your words are more than I deserve.
ファーレンホルスト注意。
Do we get like a little badge thing? Little emblem? Something to remember our time here?
これは実践を共にした貴君の働きに対するささやかな礼だ。受け取って。
I can't believe it. Yo, the crest of the three-headed beast. The watchdog of hell, this is the Cerberus Battalion's emblem. Looks pretty swaggy. Pin that on your coat or whatever. And there's a number carved here. 37.
真壁候補生、あなたはツェルベルス大隊
Oh, shit.
37番目の兵士。私たちの戦友です。
That's gonna be really confusing when they actually get another surface pilot. It's like, hey, why am I 38? There's no 37 here. Unless these numbers are permanent and they don't pass down if you die or whatever, then it can make sense maybe. But nice. We'll take it. Thank you, but I didn't...
謙遜は日本人の美徳であるな。だが我が輩らは心から帰還に感謝しておるのだ。
遠慮なく受け取るがいい。貴様は我が隊の新任ども。特にフォイルナー少尉を成長させてくれた。心から感謝するぞ。
さあ、どうか受け取って、真壁候補生。
Sniff sob. Yes, I will humbly do so. Such an honor, even though I was nothing but a burden. This is such an honor.
ほら、顔を拭いて。いい男が台無しじゃないか。いいか？テルベルスはいかなる時も胸を張るんだ。
我が隊の一員となった以上、無許可で戦死してはならんのである。良いな、真壁候補生。心せよ。
Captain Wallerstein. Lieutenant Wassernaut, thank you.
さようなら、若きツェルベルス。祖国と人類に尽くされんことを。
I will always be in your debt.
さらばだ、友よ。いつの日かまた。共にあげた
He
じゃ
is
が
a
いもをた
potato
らふく食おう。
enjoyer. I do remember that. Please be in good health. I will be praying for your victory from the bottom of my heart. Nice. Next, the Dows. Probably. There's no way they wouldn't. Look how cool the base looks, man. This could be the last time I set my eyes upon this magnificent view. It's the spot. They had the picnic, right? The smell of the tides, the green of the forest nearby. I've just barely grown familiar with this scene, and yet it is time for me to depart. Remembering these past few days feels strangely nostalgic. Out of character for me, I would say. Have I really become that sentimental? I'm sure the old me would believe this is the last time I would come to this faraway land. Then again, the old me is dead, gone forever. I was aware that during a battle, you have no choice but to entrust your comrades in arms with your life. And yet, I needed to come to Europe to truly understand what this means. I tried to shoulder everything by myself, and not until the day I was utterly powerless to change my fate did I realize how wrong that was. Yesterday I took part in a real operation for the first time, albeit took part might be too charitable a description. I was no more useful than luggage, and so I had no choice but to sit back and wait for the battle to be over, hopefully with an outcome in our favor. The thought made me incredibly uneasy. The idea itself, that I had no choice but to trust a fighting force I deemed lacking, was confusing. To say my mind was thrown into chaos would be an understatement. But shortly thereafter, I would come to see I had greatly underestimated Cerberus. Maybe even more importantly, I noticed the Typhon's crew was in the exact same position. If the heavy laser class had broken through, we would have been vaporized, helpless to do anything. It made me realize that on the battlefield, we're all equals, regardless of our backgrounds, regardless of our status. We're all fighting for the same objective. Working together to finish the mission is the only thing that matters in the face of death. I will be forever grateful to have experienced this lesson for myself. Mere theoretical knowledge could never hope to compare.
お前の話も言いたいことも
The
よくわかった
Teddy.
申し訳ないが私が言ってやれることは何一つない他のことなら別だだがその問題だけはお前が独力で答えにたどり着かなければ意味がないどれだけもがき苦しもうとも何にもよらない聖十郎の力だけでだお前と似たような問題を抱えた奴が我が隊にもいてないや奴らと言うべきか皆一人でもがき続けているだからこそ人がいや忘れてくれおせっかいが過ぎたようだ
Now I see what Lieutenant Falkenmeyer was hinting at that day. I can't believe how unreliable I was. I can't believe how kind the lieutenant was to go along with my whims. She all but told me the answers. I hope that after today I'll be just a little bit easier to ensure the promises I've exchanged with Lieutenant Foner and Brower come true. It'll be just a little bit easier. Wouldn't that be nice? Sounds like there's a car coming this way. Oh, we're not at the picnic spot. We're right at the station. Is this the first thing we see? I thought it was different, but has been a while. It's planning on walking to the station. No, I think it is a fitness spot, and I'm baiting myself. Good one. To take in the surroundings until the very last minute, it's a pity, but it looks like such a luxury will not be granted to me. Wow, someone's practically torturing that poor engine. That screeching is positively nasty, and judging from how fast the sound is approaching, the driver likes to step on the gas. Watch out. Oh my god. Luna's killing it? Huh? What? It's going to eat.
ごめんなさいね、清十郎くん。すっかりお待たせしてしまって。
まったくお前の運転は。おう、清十郎。微動だにしないとは見分けた胆力だな。
私たち、駅まで送るよう少佐から申し付けられましたのよ。
すまんがイルフリーでは。
Oh no, dude. Nah, she doesn't surprise us. There's no way.
さあ、ヘルガ、急ぎますわよ。
まだそれほどの時間では。おい、待ってくれ。
Just toss him in. Holy. Who would win in a race, Luna or Kozuki?
列車の時間には十分に間に合いましたわね。無事に送ることができて何よりですわ。
You should be glad I'm not dead. And there's almost an hour left. Let me tell you what happened. I was shoved into the car and somehow I ended up here before I knew it. You guys think I don't know what I'm talking about. You're right, I don't know what's going on at all. I saw it all, but it wasn't something like advanced driving techniques or breaking the sound barrier. It was over in a flash, but that was traumatic enough. Riding in a car with Lieutenant Witzelben behind the wheel is far more terrifying than TSF flight training. Her driving was reckless, enough traveling on a paved road, but then she suddenly decided to take an off-road detour, and I could swear to the gods I have seen my last glimpse of this world. How come you're okay? Are you even human?
とうとうお別れですわね、清十郎くん。この数日間、とても楽しかったですわ。あなたと。
It was my honor, Lieutenant. I would devote myself to use what I learned here for the sake of humanity and the Empire.
私たちも清十郎くんに負けないよう修練し続けますわ。
That reminds me, I already wrote about it in my letter, but it can't hurt to thank her in person. Excuse me, Lieutenant Witzelben, but there's something I would like to thank you for.
お礼？まあ、何でしょう。
For always leaving me a wet towel, a hot towel in my room. I want you to know that I'm sincerely grateful. It's my first time living abroad, and the experience can be quite stressful at times. Thanks to that kind gesture of yours, my mental fatigue vanished in the blink of an eye. I was recharged, filled with excitement and ready to face tomorrow. Despite your busy schedule, you are always there for me, night after night. At this point, I'm simply repeating myself, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. Oh god. Good one. Is there something wrong, Lieutenant Witzelben?
私などがお役に立てたのであれば光栄ですわ。
I don't know what she's thinking, but she's definitely getting the wrong idea.
清十郎は何か思い違いをしているようだな。
Not at all. I got a private room, it's true, but I've been using it in a completely wholesome way. I'm not a degenerate.
何を言っている？
Yeah, I don't know what he was talking about
お
either.
しぼりの話をして
Oh,
い
I
るの
just
だ。
okay, I got it. Yeah, he was chaining onto they're all chaining onto Luna's thing. That's what I've been talking about the entire time. Wait, what exactly did I get wrong?
清十郎くん、あなたの部屋に毎晩おしぼりを運んでいたのは私ではなくイルフィーなのよ。
I thought we saw her though. Unless I'm misremembering. It was like right at the beginning too, right? What? Are you serious? So that display of hospitality was all Lieutenant Fulner's doing? But I remember how I saw you coming out of my room during the first day.
私はあなたの荷物を運んだだけですわ。お部屋に入った時にはもうおしぼりが置かれていましたもの。
Now that explains why the hot towel was lukewarm, because Lieutenant Fulner was the one who put it there a while back. If Lieutenant Witzubin had done so, it would have been as hot as intended. Oh my god, the clues were all
お
there.
客様が見知らぬ土地で過ごす一日の終わりに故郷を感じてほっとできるもの。そう言ってあの子が懸命に調べて選んだものがあのおしぼりですわ。
But I don't believe hot towels are a part of Japan's cultural heritage or anything of the sort.
おかしいですわね。イルフィーに見せてもらった資料にはおしぼりは中世の日本貴族から発祥した固有文化とありました
I
よ
have
ね。
no idea. What?
第二次世界大戦後、日本の航空会社が機内サービスに取り入れ、その快適さから世界中に広まったと書いてあったの。
Must be in that business class up, because I don't remember ever getting a hot towel, even on Air Japan, which I've flown, so
残念ながら
unlucky, I
米大戦
guess.
以後の混乱で
They do give you wet
世界
wipes
特に
sometimes.
ヨーロッパではおしぼりのサービスが絶えてしまったようですけれど。
This cannot be. Am I that ignorant of Japan's cultural heritage? Less well educated on the empire's customs than German surface pilots? I mean, it's a really random thing that they don't even do anymore in their world, so it doesn't really matter, but
それもイルフリーデが探し出した資料にあったな。
whatever.
それはお世辞にも深い内容とは言えないものだったが、イルフリーデは日本文化に関する資料を手当たり次第集めていたんだ。
つけ焼き場もいいところでしたけど、お迎えの準備だと言って紙にブラシで文字を書いたり、調理室から鍋を借りてきたりで大わらわでしたわね。
We never saw her Japanese cooking or writing, I think.
日本の刀や鎧って何百年も前の戦争の道具なのに、細部にまで色鮮やかな飾りや美しい細工が凝らされていて、まるで美術品のようでしょ。武具にそういう思想と技術を込める民族が建てるなら、それは美しいお城になるんじゃないかなって思っていたのよ。とても美しいんでしょうね、日本のお城。
They're nice. They look so
い
different.
つかこの目で見てみたいわ。
We only have like one castle in Canada, I think. Casa Loma, which is kind of cool, but you know, it's just Casa Loma. But going to the Nagoya, I think, yeah, the Nagoya castle in Japan was probably my favorite castle I've been to. Though I haven't been in like Europe, which obviously has the medieval castles, but I've been to that and the, what's it called? The Osaka castle, which was cool too, but the Nagoya one was built different, man. I thought that was way cooler than the Osaka one. So that's why she sometimes seemed to know more than she should. And this also helps explain the matter of that surreal hanging scroll and makeshift tea set. I thought that was, yeah, I thought that was, Helga, man. That's right, that's exactly right. Unforgivable, how blind have I been? Not only was I in the dark about a tremendously important cultural asset of my beloved empire. Again, I don't think it's that important, but I was also ignorant of Lieutenant Fulner's true worth. My complaints are worth less than a drunkard's ramblings. She was the one who cared about me the most, and how did I pay her back? I criticized her again and again, in front of her comrades even. Lieutenant Falkenmeyer, I really need to apologize to Lieutenant Follner. Is there a way for me to do so?
詫びなど不要だろう。ビルフリーでの行動はお前に感謝されたいがためではないだろうからな。
What?
お前の不評を買ったあのようにラフな接し方はあやつ自身が選んだゆえのことだ。お前がどう評価しようとそれは自由だ。
She's saying it's my fault as well, that I should have been able to see beneath the surface but failed miserably at the task. What I'm trying to understand is, why would Lieutenant Follner go so far for my sake?
簡単なことですわ、清十郎君。
Huh?
帰国後すぐに任官し、即戦場に立つであろう少年兵に
Really?
無人の矜持を示すよりも人のぬくもりを感じられる
I didn't know we were getting commissioned right as we got back. I guess this is like, I guess that made sense. They would send these people on the international cadet thing. Like they wouldn't just send random cadets that might not pass. It would be people who are already passing. So it made sense. So that was it. In the end, it all comes back to the 8 minutes of death. Once my exchange is over, I'll be deployed in combat as a newly commissioned second lieutenant in a matter of weeks. I had to die in my very first battle, long before I even reached the dreaded 8-minute threshold. That's why she did so much for me.
あいつはそういうやつなんだ。
そうですわね。
She is an airhead, with an excessive fondness for physical contact, and it wouldn't be inaccurate to describe her as meddlesome. But Lieutenant Follner is also someone who understands what it means to care for others in the truest sense of the word. I don't know what the future has in store for me. No matter how much I struggle, I may not last beyond the 8 minutes of death. But when the moment of my death comes, I want to be able to look back upon my life with pride.
さて、そろそろ戻りましょうか、ヘルガ。
わかった。行こう。
Lieutenant Witzobin, Lieutenant Falkenmeyer, thank you for everything you've done.
達者でな、清十郎。命を粗末にする英士にだけはなるなよ。
Yes, I will. Your advice the other day was invaluable, Lieutenant. Thanks to you, I feel as if I've peeled off my adolescent skin and emerged as a real man.
そんなことをした覚えはないが、自信があるのは確かなようだな。
I'm not sure if I would call it confidence, but I'm certain your words gave me a new perspective.
いいな。一人でもがき続けている。
And Luna just looking on in surprise. They had a private talk?
いや、忘れてくれ。
I wonder what you were going to say before you cut yourself off. Personal growth is an individual matter. It's the person in question who has to deal with the resulting triumphs or failures. My struggle does not concern Lieutenant Falkenmeyer. Always relying on answers from another is the same as being stuck as a child forever. You're the only one who can't find the answers to the questions that plague you. Never mind. Please forget I said anything.
一皮むけた。
Okay.
そんなことをした。
Good one. Classic. Could you please not ruin my farewell speech, woman? I'll be praying for your safety. Please relay that to Lieutenant Follner as well.
わかった。
I mean, she's at this station, obviously. I think that's why Luna rushed here, so we could spend more time with her.
さようなら、清十郎君。いつかまたお会いしましょう。
Am I imagining things, or did that Humvee really fly away, or just fly away? I'm not even speaking figuratively. Really now, it's a miracle I made it here in one piece. This was quite a pedestrian send-off, but that's alright. It's just like service to not make a big deal out of things. There's still plenty of time until the train departs. According to my military grade, Castio. I mean, that's supposed to be Casio, right? Watch, I have 43 minutes before I must leave. It's all thanks to Lieutenant Witsoben's aggressive driving style and her blitzkrieg on the poor Humvee's engine. I would venture it's the highest speed ever recorded off-road. Wish we could have taken the scenic road instead. I don't know why I read scientific. Now I have time to spare, but absolutely nothing to do. Waiting here without doing anything would be the worst possible choice. Miraculously, I find myself in the same situation as when I first arrived. Barely 10 days have passed, but it feels like an eternity. I can't believe how desperate I was to be seen as a full-fledged adult, to the point where I got myself into trouble for foolishly trying to prove that I'm not a child. But Europe, do not dare underestimate me. In the Empire, they say a boy can grow furiously in a mere 3 days, yet here I stand, a cadet in Europe for 10 whole days, which means I've become thrice the man. Still, something is missing. I can't lie and say everything worked out perfectly, but I don't believe it speaks ill of my character to be left with some lingering regrets. Tradition, discipline, and the legacy of House Makabe. My drive to uphold the values I hold dear remains as strong as ever, which is not to say I wish to remain stagnant. The time I spent here taught me that it's fine to let loose at times, as long as you keep your wits about you. However, Europe, don't get your hopes up too high. I may be thrice the man I was, but demanding I do not feel sentimental as I take in the scenery would be asking the impossible. Well, such is life. Perhaps I should kill some time at the underground platform. I could count the railroad ties until I reach the same amount as the number of good memories I forged in this place. That would keep me busy for a while. So poetic. Who does that? Good grief, what am I thinking? Bwahahaha. I was supposed to head to the underground platform, but I ended up heading toward the equestrian trail instead. Oh, this would be messed up if Phoner is waiting at the platform. Kinda ruins the plans. I have no idea what I'm doing, but for once, I'm gonna let things play out. Besides, this is nothing compared to Lieutenant Phoner's impulsivity. If she's like a typhoon, leaving behind a trail of destruction, I am but a gentle breeze. Bwahahaha. This might possibly be the first time in my life I act solely on my feelings. Others might not consider this as anything special. For someone like me, though, who has always felt the need to justify his actions somehow, this is nothing short of a milestone. It's all thanks to Lieutenant Phoner. Clearly, she's been a major influence on me. What a shame. I couldn't say my goodbye to her in person. I owe her so much. A simple letter doesn't do things justice. Now that I'll have to depart, the least I can do is to sear the place where we first met into my memory. An indulgence, sure, but one that I will allow myself. Where's she? Maybe she's not at the station. Lieutenant Phoner. Oh, it is. I thought it was an obvious. I didn't write it down, but I owe you an apology. I was a fool who let himself be overcome by his own dogmatic beliefs. Not only did I make light of your unit and the rest of Europe, I even looked down on you when I had absolutely no grounds to do so. Behaving like a narrow-minded fool, I couldn't understand your inner strength and nobility. The way you are always cheerful without relying on anyone. You could go so far as to say that strength of yours is what made me adore you. Ask the sparrow how the eagle soars indeed. I wanted to apologize to you, Lieutenant, and yet I couldn't. There won't be many regrets to take back home from my time in Europe, but I'm sure this one failure that will haunt me for the rest of my life.
どうしたの、清十郎？大丈夫？
Yes, I'm okay. There's no need to concern yourself with me, Lieutenant. I brought this on myself. It's only right I accept whatever happens to me. What? Lieutenant Faulkner, what are you doing here?
驚かせてごめんなさい。急いで追いかけたんだけど、まさか清十郎がこんなところにいるなんて思わなか
Would
っ
have
たさ。
sucked if we missed each other because of our walk. What? Then she came all this way just to see me off?
あれ、私ちゃんと英語で話してるわよね。
Oh yes, yes, Lieutenant, you're speaking in English.
やだもう、脅かさないで清十郎。私の顔を見てもずっと動かないんだもの。ドキドキしちゃったわ。
No, I was just,
でも間に合ってよかった。遅くなっちゃったのは自分のせいだから仕方ないけど、そのせいで清十郎のお見送りをできなかったら寂しいものね。
well.
それにしても清十郎は本当にトレイルランコースが好きなのね。一緒に早駆けできなかったのがちょっと残念だわ。
Oh no, there's no need to worry about that.
でも言ったでしょ、この一帯は部外者立ち入り禁止の部隊占有エリアだって。もう忘れちゃったの？
Of course I didn't forget, Lieutenant. That's exactly why I came here.
まあそうね。離任してもここを離れるまではまだ清十郎が私たちのお客様であることに変わりはないわよね。
That's not quite accurate, Lieutenant.
Eh?
I am the 37th Surface Pilot of the Cerberus Battalion.
37
I got the official emblem, dude. I want to carry this medal close to me on my way back to the Empire. Good thing I remembered to put it in my breast pocket.
それは
I got it from Major Eichberger. This is proof that I stood beside Cerberus in an actual battle, more than I deserve, really.
よかったわね清十郎。本当によかったわね。
Thank you, Lieutenant. Normally she would start raving about Major Eichberger, singing his praises with no end in sight. But could it be she's genuinely happy about me getting this medal?
帰国後すぐに任官し、即戦場に立つであろう少年兵に無人の矜持を示すよりも人のぬくもりを感じられる思い出を渡したいと願ったのだろう。
The way I treated Lieutenant Faulkner, despite her going so far to take care of me, and how I looked down on her with an air of superiority, it's inexcusable. There's a good chance I won't ever see her again. I need to apologize now. Hey, Lieutenant.
何清十郎。
I can't do it. I shouldn't do it. The time for words has come and gone. What's done is done.
詫びなど不要だろう。イルフリーデの行動はお前に感謝されたいがためではないだろうからな。お前の不評を買ったあのようにラフな接し方はあやつ自身が選んだゆえのことだ。お前がどう評価しようとそれは自由だ。
This is not the time to apologize, but rather to acknowledge my ignorance, to pledge to do better. Lieutenant Faulkner made me tragically aware of this flaw of mine, one of the many things I should be thanking her for. Besides, saying I misunderstood her all this time and apologizing for the matter does her no good. It would be a mere excuse for my feelings, something done purely for my own self-satisfaction. Still, there's something I absolutely need to tell her. How deep are we going? Ooh. I didn't think it would be a confession or anything, but look at that. That's a nice ending CG, if it's our last one. Otherwise, we'd have to use the goofy-ass tar one, which is funny in its own right, but set the atmosphere for the finale. You've done so much for me, Lieutenant Faulkner. Thank you. I've learned so many unforgettable things during my time in Europe, and it's all thanks to you. I couldn't have asked for a better start to my career as a surface pilot. And I have never experienced days as chaotic as the ones I spent with you, Lieutenant. I will treasure them for the rest of my life.
清十郎
Thank you for the wonderful memories. Please remain in good health forever. Close up.
さようなら清十郎大丈夫あなたなら立派な英士になれるわ
Thank you very much. Transition. Suddenly I felt the urge to speak up. I felt an overwhelming need to tell Lieutenant Faulkner something, anything, to the point where it was impossible to hold back. Oh no. You know, Lieutenant. Do you still remember what you said about wanting to see Japanese castles?
うんいつの日か私が日本に行ったら清十郎が案内してくれるんでしょ
Of course. I began to speak, but what little sense of confidence I had vanishes as soon as the first words came out. It's not surprising, really. I have no idea what I want to tell the lieutenant. My mind keeps racing, trying to find out exactly what to say. I'm in uncharted territory. This is the first time I've ever confessed to a woman. Oh my god, he's doing it. Let's go. And yet the words keep rushing out from my mouth. Lieutenant, I will do whatever it takes to keep our promise. I swear I'll survive the 8 minutes of death.
分かっているわあなたは侍だもの侍に二言はないものね
Yes, when that time comes. Oh god, what's he gonna say? I don't know what to say. Oh, okay. When that time comes, I'll be there to welcome you, Lieutenant. Bro's blushing? I mean, that wasn't that bad. Oh. She embraces me softly as if caressing something precious. It feels distinctly different from the way she used to hug me. It's a warm and gentle embrace, one that reminds me of Mother. Oh, that's really good. Now we gotta use the HUD one.
その日が来ることを楽しみにしているわ
Let's go. We're in, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell, actually. Me too. Huh? Oh. Not the head kiss. Oh no. I don't know if we're in, Lieutenant.
これは騎士の誓い
Are we in? Gives us a hug like a mother and then gives us a kiss in the head? I'm sorry. I feel like we got friend zoned.
私から清十郎への約束の証よ
Yes.
再び会える日まで私も頑張る
The head kiss is crazy though, I'm not gonna lie. That is a little crazy. More? We're gonna see his first battle? First fight? I was but a child. Looking back, that much is clear. And perhaps she was my first love. But my love was unrequited. Yeah, that's what it felt like. Oh man. Little brother zoned. To Lieutenant Faulkner, I was like a little brother and nothing more. I know that now, and I've come to terms with it. Phew. Love, affection, and adoration, emotions that I treated as one and the same, without attempting to make any nuanced distinction. I thought the mere determination would be enough, that zeal alone would be enough for a man to rise up to the occasion. How laughable. I can't believe what a sad excuse of a man I used to be. Brings a smile to my face, actually. But one person saw right through my act. Elfried von Follner. She didn't care about my shortcomings and gave me her unconditional love instead. Dude, we're rocking the red suit though? W? I love the red suit. It's my favorite suit in the series so far. I was so hellbent on finding out what chivalry really meant. Pretty ironic now that I think about it. It was thanks to those German knights who stood so tall and proud without relying on anyone but themselves that I could come to know true Bushido.
ヘッドクォーターより待機中の全攻撃部隊に次ぐ。支援砲撃終了まで約300秒。戦域突入に備えよ。繰り返す。戦域突入に備えよ。
Yo, we're looking snazzy. Wolfblaze 1 to all leaders. See standby mode. Oh no. Crimson is the color of burning passion, and it just so happens to be the Rote Company's color. A happy coincidence indeed. For Commander, huh? That's tough. I mean, red goes well with the black hair, purple eye color scheme. That's kind of a classic. I was a mere mockery of a man, but that changes nothing. A samurai's word is sacred. I will fulfill my promise, and I will repay their kindness. Oh, red Tamet. Oh my god, we got the same looking one as Tsukiyomi. Wolfblaze 1 to Wolfblaze Battalion. Fight as you always have. Devote yourself to the survival of the Empire and the human race. You have lived through battle before, so do so again. You stole that? Yoink that shit? It is a good speech. I did all of them, dude. Okay, they're not all Royal Guard ones. Or are they? That's crazy. Let's go Wolfblaze. Never seen so many of them. Tatami Tenzuchi's. Whoa! Animation. That's dope. Really good story, honestly. And the prose is really good. Because it was adapted from a novella, right? I don't know, like a lot of times since, you know, I've been reading Tsukihime as one of the series, I do have a lot of words about the prose. I think it's not the best written thing. And this is like a lot better in comparison, just to writing itself. I'm not saying the whole thing is better than the Tsukiyomi experience, which I've only read one route, which was pretty good. But I do appreciate a higher level of prose. I don't see a reason why there shouldn't be one in a visual novel. But most of them are a little flatter. Which, you know, it comes with the graphics and stuff, but... So that offsets it, but as someone who's been reading a lot of physical books lately, I do appreciate it. And, you know, this does a very good job, kind of like in Photonflowers with Isumi's story. Like, they've created a really strong cast in such a short period of time, which I really appreciate. I still think Fault and Meyer is probably my favorite. Obviously, Ilfried and Sojiro were the best couple. I know they kind of made it a couple. Well, I say couple because they didn't end up together, but that was clearly the real pairing. But Fault and Meyer had some great scenes, man. Same with Luna Teresia, the crazy ass shipper. And you know what? Brar brought it back, man. He brought it back a little. By the end, who would have thought? It was cool though. I wonder what is next. Well, maybe we'll take a little sneak peek at the description of the next story. Because there are only 3 stories, but obviously this is... How many episodes has this been? More than 10, right? Kinda wanna peek. Muv Lover. This is episode 11, so over 10 episodes. It's kind of crazy. The other ones weren't that long, even the longer routes in Flowers, I think. I mean, if we go at the same pace, we finished Flowers at episode 29, so they're all like 10 episodes long then. It is around the same length, which is pretty cool. Dude, I chose the inspiration tab in the YouTube creator thing, and it's supposed to give you ideas of what videos to make, and they're actually so funny. Aiden's Dilemma, Ethical Choices, and the Super Soul Stone and Demon Roots, which isn't a thing. Muv Luv Alternative, the butterfly effect of one crucial player choice. I mean, that's kind of true. I guess we are kind of a weird butterfly effect thing. Blind playthrough challenge. Can Aiden beat Rance 10 with only luck? That game's not even out, or at least in English. Narrative analysis live, breaking down Umineko when they cries mystery chapter by chapter. I'm sure someone's done that. I am not built for that, but that does sound like a great video. Rance's Unarmed Truth, demystifying damage and secret combat mechanics. Wait, this is so cool. I mean, I'll never use it. I don't know what Venus Blood is. It keeps saying I should talk about that. Never heard of that. Unboxing the lore, a deep dive into key texts in Raging Loop. I'm sure there's a Raging Loop. Explored. Wait, we got more video. We got more stuff. Hold on. Hello, Wilfried. Right after brother zoning us.
言ってしまう。
ルナ、ヘルが。
しかし、間に合ってよかったな。
Wait, what happened though?
清十郎が一人でふらふら
Oh,
歩き始めた時は
they drove off, but then they just came back in car. That's the point of leaving then. And it's just to give us personal space.
間に合った？なんでヘルガがそれを？っていうか、ふらふらって何？だいたい。
清十郎を見送った後、高機動車を車両保管所に
They
戻
just
した
went to return it and ran back.
そうじゃなくて、清十郎と一緒に駅で待ってるからすぐ来いってメモをくれたでしょ？
Sorry, Luna, your shipping has failed.
うん。まあ、私はそのつもりだったんだが。
ひどいわよ。清十郎ほっぽり出してさっさと帰ってくるなんて。
いや、私たちは最後まで見届けていたのだが。
They're snooping?
さっきから何を言ってるの、ヘルガ。だいたいどこに
In
もい
the
なかったじゃない。
bushes.
俺は必ず死の8分を乗り越え
They did
勝
see.
利との約束を果たします。
は？
分かっているわ。あなたは侍だもの。侍に
Maybe Luna can save this pairing.
はい。その際には勝利をお迎えに上がる所存です。
ちょっと、なんでルナがそこまで細かく知ってるのよ。
あなた方のお別れの一部始終は少し離れたところからじっくりと拝見させていただいていましたの。
はあ？なんでわざわざそんなことする
She
の
just
よ。
doesn't get
一
it
緒
at
に見
all.
送って
That's
あげればよか
crazy.
ったじゃない。
そのような野望できませんわ。
さっきから全然話が噛み合ってない感じがするんだけど。
遠くの少佐より近くの士官候補生、悪い選択ではありませんわ。敵と距離と年の差に阻まれてなお燃え上がる二人の心、素敵ですわ。
はいはい、またルナの病気が始まったってわけね。人のことすぐ勝手に恋愛小説っぽい妄想にして楽しむんだから。
許してくれイルフリーで覗き見するようで不本意だったのだ
She
が。
was dragged along.
分かってる。どうせルナがいろいろ計画して強引に仕切ったんでしょ。
あら、恥ずかしがらなくてもいいのよ。私たちはあなた方を心から応援していますわ。
待て、私をそこに加えるの。
別に何を妄想するのもルナの勝手だけど、そんな目で見るのは
What
清
do
十
you
郎に失礼でしょ。
mean?
あんな小さい子が立派な英士になるために
I don't actually know that age difference.
見学しに来てくれたのよ。
I thought they were like around the same age. They're making it sound like it's kind of steep, which that makes a lot more sense.
あんな小さい子？
そうよ。しかも日本に帰ったらすぐに実践に出るなんて。
Unless she's
仕方のないことだわね。
misunderstanding how
世
old
界
he
中で起
is.
きている悲しい現実だわ。だから清十郎には楽しい思いをいっぱいして帰ってほしかったの。だいたい私なんかが相手じゃ清十郎がかわいそうじゃない。あの子がいい年頃になったら私おばちゃんだよ。
How old does he think he is? Okay, I think she's wrong now, because he's not that young. There's no way.
そこまで
清十郎、私がおばちゃんになっても日本のお城を案内してくれる
What do you mean? I mean, I guess they just think he looks young because Asians look younger.
それまでは絶対死ねないわよね。
Or how old is
二
she?
人で約束したんだ。
イルフィ、もしかするとあなた清十郎くんの年齢を知
Yeah.
らないのではなくて
清十郎の年？
Primary school?
あの外見だ
What
し、
do you
どう見ても
mean?
小学生ぐらいでしょ？
You think they're sending out a primary school person? So that's like elementary, so like 12? 12, 13? Or even younger if she's talking about old age.
まあイルフィったら東洋人は実際の年齢よりかなり若く見えるのよ。いくら
I
なん
don't
で
know
も
primary and
中学生ぐらい
secondary.
ですよ。
That's in secondary is like high school.
またルナの妄想が始まった。
お前たち
He's-
一体何を言っている？
He's an adult, right? Or at least I assumed he was like 18, 19. At most like 17.
お前たちは司令部から配布された清十郎のシーンにきちんと目を通していたのか？
That's why I like Photonmelodies the best, man.
ああ、今朝事務官が回収してたあの分厚いやつね。まあ、ざっとね。名前と写真はちゃんと見たわよ。
私はあくまでサポートですのでそこまでの詳細は
Surely.
つまり見ていないということだな。
いい
What if he's
のよ
older
細
than
かい
her?
ことは
That would have been crazy. I always thought she was
初
older.
対面で先入観があると逆にうまくいかない場合があるでしょ。それにほら、私日本
But the fact
の
that they
こと
thought
いろいろ
she
調べ
thought
る
he
の
was
忙し
younger
かったし
anyways, probably wouldn't have made a good couple. Maybe. I don't know.
お前たちは
何？もしかして何か
Maybe I think he might have been
私
older
また
than
何
them.
かいけなかった？
Maybe that's why Faltermeyer always treated him with so much respect.
ちょっとなんで急に黙るの？
Oh my god, I didn't expect this, man.
その遠い目は何？何なの？
清十郎は美しい思い出を持ってく
Hey, tell me his age. I'm curious now.
ちょっとルナ、なんか言いなさいよ。
イルフィ、真実を知ることは必ずしも幸せ
Don't act like you aren't part of this, though.
はあ？なんであんたが急にそっち側行ってんのよ。
花からルナの妄想など真に受けてないが、それにし
何？
Yeah, I need to know too. Stop stalling it.
清十郎くん、よりによってなぜイルフィなのでしょうね。
だからなんであんたはそんなこと
You
を
don't even know his age, Luna.
まったくそこ
She's just here for the dog pile, and I kind of respect it. Ba-ba, ba-ba, ba-ba.
だから何歳なのよ。
Screw you, Dave. I'm just gonna guess he's older. That's my official guess. 2020. Growing Pains. Nice. Good arc, good arc. Fun characters. What's next, man? Resurrection. Is that Takaru? I was gonna say from the thumbnail, is that blonde hair Takaru? Oh my god, okay, I'm not even gonna read it, but we're going into alternative or maybe unlimited world. It says alternative, so. Featuring Takaru. That's fun. We'll probably see some of the OG cast members, which will be fun. But thanks for watching as always. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time with a whole new arc of Photonmelodies. Later.